Ladies and gentlemen, he's the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Kind enough to return to this program right in the middle of training camp. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Hafley on the program. Good to see you,
All
Jeff.
right.
How are you?
Good to see you guys. I'm good, thanks.
So let's just jump right into the Hall of Fame weekend a little bit here. I know you've been busy, and the weekend was all kinds of awesome. And what's your recollection of? If I'm not mistaken, you coached Darrelle Revis in college. You were his position coach in college, Jeff. Is that true?
Yeah, I had Darrell his junior year, and then I actually had him for a year in Tampa when I was a DB coach in Tampa, so I got to reunite with him. Just the ultimate competitor. I mean, just a different mindset, even in college. I mean, I don't think anyone caught a ball on him until like week 5, and I think it was against Syracuse. They caught a comeback on him, and he was so angry, and I was like, oh my God. So I think actually you bring up a lot of memories. I think
Sure.
2 balls were thrown his way in the first 3 weeks, and I think he took them both back for touchdowns. And I was like, gosh, I'm really a good coach. And then
Right.
Rich, once he left, I was like, oh my God, I'm a terrible coach, and I'm never going to be able to get anyone to play like him again. What happened to my magic? And it turned out it wasn't me, it was Revis. But
Nice.
mindset was incredible. I mean, what a competitor, what a player.
I mean, and he came in, Mr. Aliquippa, part of the I guess Tony Dorsett, Ty Law, if you will, type of hype coming into Pittsburgh. But so you could already tell he was a cut above in that room in college.
Yeah, I mean, he was just different. The way he could press and get his hands on people. I mean, he was a punt returner for us too. I think he won an ESPY for one of his punt returns against West Virginia in one of the backyard brawl games. It was one of the craziest returns I've ever seen in my life. He actually, when he got to Pitt, he was good enough in basketball, and in Pitt basketball at that time was rolling. But I think he played as a freshman, and then I think it was too much, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to focus on football, and he made the right decision. But just super athletic, strong. I could play man as good as anybody I've ever been around, and I've been around a couple of those guys. I got to coach Rondé when I was in Tampa, and you just see how special players, just how they approach the game and their mindset, how competitive they are. And I'm just really lucky to be around, 2 Hall of Famers. And, if hopefully Sherm will get in when his time comes, and it will make it a 3rd.
Yeah, you were in San Francisco with Richard Sherman, and you just alluded to the fact that he's a first ballot candidate next year. What made him a cut above, Jeff?
Same thing. I mean, now huge corner, and the way he saw the game. I mean, just the way he was able to play cover 3, and even all the things I learned from him, Rich, and what he saw, why he saw it, how he jumped routes. Such a smart football player, and the way he could play the ball, but he could also press. He was strong. He had really good length, but again, you want to talk about, it's something I try to talk to the young players about, the mindset of these guys. It's just like, I'll give you an example with Sherman walkthroughs. Like if Kyle said, hey, we're going to shadow and let the offense catch the ball in a walkthrough so we can work a 2-minute drill, like Sherman wasn't going to let that happen. He was not going to let a ball be caught on him. It was just not okay with him. It wasn't okay in a walkthrough. It wasn't okay in practice. It wasn't always okay in a one-on-one. And he was just going to kill himself to make sure that no one caught a football on him. And nowadays, it's like, a guy caught a ball on me, tag off. A guy caught a 5-yard pass on me, do some kind of like I just strapped him down. Like those guys didn't do that. Like they just went out there and just, I don't know, it was just different up here. So really fortunate to be around guys like that.
Jeff Hafley, Miami Dolphins head coach here on the Rich Eisen Show. Our radio audience has returned talking about some Hall of Famers that he's coached in other places before becoming the HC in Miami. And listen, I mean, Hall of Fame players, wake up with the talent that's needed, or many people wake up with the talent that's needed. Let's put it that way. But Hall of Fame players add a burning desire to be great to it. How do you coach that, right? I mean, how do you find those players? You starting out now in Miami trying to create a culture, but how do you, knowing what it looks like, try and instill that?
Well, I think you got to be demanding. I mean, and we're so young right now where it's actually a lot of fun. I mean, we have 23 rookies on the roster, and a lot of them are battling for jobs and getting a ton of reps, whether it's with the 1s or the 2s. And I mean, you can push these guys, show them exactly what it looks like. And you got to be relentless about it. You got to hold them accountable. You got to be demanding. And now we got to love these guys up, and they're going to make mistakes. But just the way right now they're going about practice and our coaches are coaching them. It will take a little bit of time with these guys because playing as rookies is hard. But I think we're in a pretty cool space right now to be able to do that and really get on these guys and teach them the right way, teach them what it looks like. And it's just all the little things and the details that's been fun right now.
And in terms of bringing the players in, you and John Eric Sullivan together now from the Green Bay system. Did you choose the players in the draft having already sort of kicked a tire to know that they're ready for that type of coaching? Was that part of the process over the last few months?
I think part of the process is finding guys that love football. And I think Sully and his staff, they did such a good job. And then, a big thing for me is when, Sully and I constantly talk and you talk to the scouts and you talk to everybody in the draft room and what do they say about him? Does he love football? And then to me, it's how tough they are. And it's when I watch tape, whether it's late in the game, how hard are they still playing? When their team's losing, how hard are they still playing? Do they celebrate with their teammates? Do they do all the little things on tape that don't talk to me that you love football? Because everybody could say you love football, but I want to see things that show me they love football. How physical a guy comes down and how excited he gets and the juice that he has with his teammates and how a corner might get off a block or a wide receiver straining down the field. Like all those little things. I mean, if you get guys that are made up the right way, you're going to have a pretty good chance.
Jeff Hafley here on the Rich Eisen Show. So how is Malik Willis handling being the one there in Miami in his first training camp and offseason?
He's doing a nice job. I mean, clearly he's getting the reps, and I think that's new for him, right? As a backup, you're kind of with the twos and you're rotating in, but he's getting the reps with the ones, and you see probably the biggest thing, his confidence. It's just his confidence is starting to grow. He's understanding the scheme more with Bobby Slowick. He's starting to lead more because he's feeling that confidence and understanding that, you know what, I'm going to take over this offense, not just as a player, but it's my time to lead these guys. And you can start to see him vocally grabbing a wideout, or the other day he got the offense together before practice to kind of go over some stuff. So it's been fun to watch, and he's going to continue to develop and as he gets playing time.
Jeff Hafley here on the Rich Eisen Show. And in terms of evaluating Malik Willis, the conversation you hear so many times when you build a team, certainly around a young quarterback who's doing it as a starter for the first time, is you got to surround him with the talent to see what he can do. And Jalen Waddle gets sent to Denver, and it's caused a lot of confusion amongst people saying, okay, so you're bringing this kid in, you're going to give him this chance, but you send away a guy who Denver thinks so highly of, and obviously your team thought so highly of as well, but you're sending him away. How do you respond to how you're able to evaluate him based on the roster that's around him?
Yeah, I mean, one, I think you look at our O-line. I mean, we've got some really good players in the offensive line. Brewer, I think, is, one of the best leaders and one of the best guys on our team. And I think he's one of the best centers in the NFL. We drafted Proctor in the first round, and he's done a really good job at guard. Jonah was a high pick last year. I think his confidence is back, and he's doing a really nice job. Pat Paul, really good offensive tackle. I think he has a chance to develop into one of the better tackles in the NFL. And I just think that group is starting to gel. And I think it's important to protect him. We signed Achane, and I think Achane is one of the top backs in the league and probably doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, not only in the backfield running the football, but as a guy you can kind of spread out. And then we got a bunch of receivers right now fighting and getting better. Malik Washington's had a really good camp. Greg Dulcich has had a really good camp. Caleb Douglas is a guy that we drafted and loved in the draft. And, he's had really good moments, and we got other guys fighting. So Malik's done a good job, and he's developing really good chemistry with the guys around. And we're going to do everything we can to protect him and his teammates the same way.
What will you allow about the amount of touches Devon Achane is going to get there in Miami? What sort of heads up can you give the fans here on that?
Well, I just gave Achane a heads up this morning and told him he better be in good shape, because I told him there might be some games where I have to pick him up and carry him back into the locker room because he's going to be so tired. And I told him I don't ever want to see one of these head taps all year. And he looked me right in the eye and said, "You'll never get that head tap from me." I said, "Don't worry, buddy. After you touch the ball 40, 45 times, I might have to pick you up and I'll carry you back into the locker room." I love the guy. I mean, you want to talk about a guy with some juice and a guy with personality starting to come out and a guy who's starting to become a leader. I just like those guys who can kind of give it back to you a little bit and have some fun. And I think I would say this about him, Rich. He's one of the smarter players. When you talk to him, like today in a walkthrough, I was kind of like, "You're not going to pick up this blitz, watch." And he's like, "Yeah, we're going to do this." And then it's like he's really a smart football player, and it's fun to go back and forth with him. And he's got this fun energy about him. I think he's a stud.
Well, I've watched many games in my days with Marshall Falk, and I would watch a guy get 2, 3 touches in a row, and then do the tap of the helmet thing, and he would lose his mind. He would lose his mind. Like, what are you doing? Like, the offense is running through you. You're getting the touches because you're good at it. What are you doing this for? And he would lose his mind, Jeff. Lose it.
Yeah, I'm gonna if Achan starts tapping his head and you ever see that in a game, I'm just gonna start doing this to him and start beating my head and giving him the ball again. I'm not letting him tap his head. Now, look, man, he's gonna get tired. I mean,
Sure.
and he can just kind of sneak off the sideline and look at me and wink or something, but he's not gonna tap his helmet.
Okay. Very good. I appreciate that. We will keep an eye peeled for all of that. Do you play the nobody believes in his card? Do you do something like that as a
Um,
coach?
Not yet. We're focused on building this the right way. Everybody keeps asking me that, and I read it, whether we're picked to win one game or zero games and how it goes. I see it, right? You can't not, but I just don't think it's the time to start talking about that with the players. I mean, I want to build this foundation. We've practiced really hard, and we're trying to build this from the ground up, do it the right way, being very detailed, being very tough, being very physical. I mean, we went live in practice on, I think it was Saturday. I don't even know what day it is, but a couple of days ago, and the guys embraced it and loved it, and it looked like a real football practice. And we're starting to really gel together and have fun as a team. And I don't know if our guys are too concerned with that right now. There'll be a time and a place if I ever feel a little low and I need to get them fired up for a minute. But what's that going to do, right? Like me going to team meeting and say, look, people think we're going to win one game. It's going to fire them up for 10 seconds. And I mean, that's not real. We got to build this thing right, and it's got to come from within, and they got to want to do it for each other for the right reasons, not because what everybody else is thinking about us. So maybe a good shot here or there, but not ready for it.
So what is the right way? Again, that's what everybody's kind of hunting and pecking for, is philosophy and your roster building. I mean, the first 3 selections you had 2 firsts because of the Waddle trade. You went lineman, and then you went corner, and you went linebacker, and everybody's like, where are the pieces for Malik here? You know what I mean? And even though you did give him one up front, which may be the most important one, but what is the right way? What can you give people an idea of what that
Yeah,
means?
I think when you build a foundation, it's not being motivated from outside noise or outside sources. I don't think that's real. I think even when you get applauded from outside sources or from people from they're not an organization. I mean, that's great, but at the end of the day, I want this team to play for each other. One, these guys got to start believing in themselves first. Like, and I've had that conversation with a lot of guys after hard days. Like, you got to believe in yourself. And then they got to start to believe in each other. And I think if you get a group of guys that do that, and the coaches believe in the players believe in themselves, and the players believe in each other, and we go out there and we play harder than our opponent, and we play tougher, and we play smart, and we play together, and we continue to grow this thing and get better and better and better, and we see that process is working. And by the end of the year, we're playing good football and kind of have a feel for what this team is all about. I mean, that's the right way, because that's not going to be broken. I mean, the other stuff's not real and it's not going to sustain. I mean, the way we want to build this thing right now is we want to build it so it's right and it lasts. Not like this quick fix, let's get all fired up and then it implodes. Like, we got to go through some stuff together here and find out who we really are and who we can trust and count on when things get hard in that stadium. That's what camp's got to be like, and that's what early in the season's going to be like. So I believe if we do that, I know I'm ranting right now and getting a little off the topic, but I
No,
think if we do that, that's going to be the right
I
way.
mean, like, and a lot of fans of your team is looking for, like, what are they doing? What are they building? And the question, last one I have for you on this front is, it's down the road. Like, what does success from Malik Willis look like for you? Because again, in this league, I mean, the team did not sign him to some massive money deal that will force you into a roster decision. and there's a large contingent of quarterbacks in next year's draft. A lot of people are wondering what the future down the road holds. And I know I'm asking that as you're building a culture and a team and a roster. But what does success in your mind for Malik Willis look like this year?
Improvement. And in the confidence that I talked about. I believe in Malik. I believe in him as a person, and I believe in Malik as a player. And I watch him sit in the pocket and throw the ball well, and I watch him use his legs and throw the ball on the run down the field. And, there's going to be some ups and downs. I mean, that's just, it's going to be the natural occurrence for a guy who's really starting his first year. It's almost like a rookie year for him. There's going to be his ups and downs. I want to see improvement, and I want to see confidence, and I want to see leadership, and I want to see some moments where he's capable of taking over a game, which I truly believe that he's going to do. But it's going to be okay when he makes mistakes, and I'm going to have his back because we're all going to make mistakes, but we got to learn from them or else they won't count. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to seeing him do. And I am excited. I'm excited for everybody to see what this kid's capable of doing.
Well, last one for you, because the last time we spoke, you had just been hired, and you said you didn't really know your way around a building. Where have I found you here? Is this a conference room? Is this an office of yours?
This is a nice conference room, isn't it? You see that glowing light?
Yeah,
back
it does look.
It is?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, we got a nice Dolphins helmet. It looks like we got some decorations.
I don't know what those are. Those decorations, I have no clue what those are. But I don't want to criticize whoever's the interior decorator.
I don't think you can criticize him, Rich. I think whoever did this room did an incredible job.
Okay.
You know what's actually here? This is funny.
What do you got?
This is the room where I did my interview and got offered the job. So this is kind of like a nostalgic moment for me being on your show, sitting here thinking, wow, this is where I got hired.
So you were brought into this room and you had no idea what was going to happen when you walked in? Today, you had a better sense. It's not like
today or when I was hired.
When you were hired. When you were hired, it wasn't like Pesci walking into that spot in Goodfellas, right? Like it was you knew something good was going to happen when you walked into that room.
Rich, you never know on these interviews what's going to happen. So no, I mean, I walk in and there's a whole every seat was filled.
Oh wow!
Look up, there's Marino, there's Aikman. I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I right now? So no, it was a cool moment. It's just kind of funny now that I'm sitting here again, looking around, talking to you. Okay. I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the time. I really do enjoy our chats, and I do look forward to chatting with you during the season. You got your preseason game against the Commanders, right? So what's your philosophy for your first preseason game for 1s, 2s, and things like that for you?
Well, we practice against them today's Monday. We practice on Wednesday.
Okay.
So everybody will be available to play on Friday night. The practice is going to be really important to us, and I want to see how many reps each guy gets and how we come out. So I'll base the reps played by how many reps we think each guy can handle within that real 3-day period. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, everybody who's capable of playing will play in that game.
And what's it going to be like for you in Vegas week 1 when you're stepping on that field as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, with the you're in the seat Shula once occupied, man. You know what I mean? And also Wanstead, who was your guy in Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken, who hired you there. Pretty cool for you. What do you think is going to go through your mind, if you'll allow?
Yeah, you're probably the first person that's asked me that question.
Thank you.
It would be a special moment. Obviously one that I worked very hard for, and probably very humbling. I don't really think of myself often as the head coach. I just kind of go about my day and, take a step back and think about all the people who helped me get there and all the hard work. It will probably be a pretty emotional first moment until the ball's kicked off, and then I'll get back into coaching mode. But humbling, grateful to everybody who've helped, and I'm looking forward to it.
Jeff, appreciate the time. You be well, Coach. We'll chat again soon. Okay, man? Thanks.
All right, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. That's Jeff Hafley, head coach of the Miami Dolphins, right here on the Rich Eisen.